Before SUVs went soft and started caring about cup holders and cappuccinos, the Xterra showed up with a first aid kit in the hatch and mud on its mind. Launched in '99, that thing looked like a geometry problem with a roof rack. And that was its charm. It rode on a truck frame, had a rear locker, and came in colors like "I live in REI now" white. No leather, no nonsense, just knobs, gear hooks, and enough ground clearance to ghost your responsibilities. But by 2015, the adventure ended. Just as the world discovered overlanding, Nissan packed up the Xterra and left the party early. Now, with SUVs posing as hikers and off-road trims doing more latte runs and trail runs, maybe it's time the Xterra returned, but not as a crossover, as a comeback. There's a saying out there somewhere that too much of anything is a bad thing. I don't know if that's just in America, because we certainly can never have anything nice here. They're always taking it away. And in our new series, Discontinued, we're gonna take a look at what they were and what they could be if they brought them back. Today, we're gonna take a look at the Nissan Xterra. Well, not me, but a Nissan expert. I think his name is Nismo Nick.
I'm Nismo Nick. So I've driven probably everything that Nissan has made, from old to new, but I love the Nissan Xterra. And I've actually had many Nissan Xterras, and this is, believe it or not, my old Nissan Xterra. It just stands out as a very capable SUV that you can take anywhere and do anything with. It's got plenty of room in the back for all of your cargo and your pets, but you can drive it on and off a trail, you can drive it to work, and I just love the capability of it all around. Being behind the wheel of an Xterra is funny because it's, and I mean this in a great way, it's old. It's an analog car. It doesn't have like screens in front of you. There are no safety features, none. In any Xterra in existence, there's never been automatic braking, adaptive cruise control, blind spot. None of that exists. This is a car. You drive a car. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody how old I am, but when I started, driving cars, we didn't have Apple CarPlay and all this stuff. It was, you got in the car, and most of my cars were manual, and you really felt the road. You felt the love affair of driving a car. Now today, it's like the cars drive for you. They do everything for you. You can watch movies on your screens. This is just you get in a car and you drive, and I love that. It's just the open road, and you're just chilling. Now, there's a ton of other off-road vehicles. Everybody makes them. What sets the Xterra apart for me is they don't make them anymore, and they have become extremely affordable. If you look at other automakers, you talk about paying the 4Runner tax. They're insanely expensive for trucks that have wild mileage, and people buy them like crazy. But this is kind of like a hidden gem. You can get a really low mile Xterra with 4-wheel drive that's extremely capable for not a lot of money, and I think that just makes it special. Another thing that sets the Xterra apart for me is there is a ton of aftermarket support. When you buy an Xterra, you can do just about anything you want to it. There's tons of lifts, there's tons of swaps. It comes standard with a V6, but tons of people are swapping in V8s. And it's really cool to be able to take a platform like this and really make it your own. If Nissan was to bring back the Xterra, there's a couple things that they shouldn't do. They shouldn't make it bigger. I think that the Xterra has always been the perfect size. I also don't think they should make all-electric Xterra exclusive. There's probably a place for an electric Xterra, but I also think there has to be a gasoline option. Now, if Nissan was to bring back the Xterra, there are a few things, in my opinion, that they should do. Definitely gonna be a gasoline engine, definitely has to have the off-road capability, the locking differentials, a camera system that's gonna allow people to go off-roading and see what they're doing. The enthusiast in me would love to see a manual transmission. Whether that happens or not, probably not, but I think that a modern manual Xterra would just be wild.
I was gonna try my best to let you do this by yourself, but I think I like the Xterra a little too much, and I want to see her come back.
Can you get your hands off my roof boobs?
Yeah. No. I'm gonna hop off of here.
Okay.
This is me hopping.
And he's hopping.
For me, the Xterra represented everything right with Nissan at a point in time, where you're able to see their boldness, the avant-garde jump out of their name, because they were doing what the other car makers in Japan weren't doing. If this car was to come back, I think there's a few ways that could happen. We're looking at powertrain. It needs to be something that makes sense for the class, right? I'm thinking the 6-cylinder that is powering the Z. It's a twin turbo, right?
We like twins.
We sure do. Sister.
Not Tia and Tamara.
My twins big like Tia and Tamara.
Get that coin, Rico Nasty. Well, I think that if you got to be careful in the engine lineup, because the twin turbo V6 exists in the Armada, the twin turbo V6 exists in the Z. You have to be careful with your power, because I don't think the Xterra needs to have more power than the Z or the Armada. And then everything else kind of in its class is 4-cylinder turbo, and I don't think that that's the option. You giving like Missy Elliott, like I can't stand the rain trash bag right now.
My damn microphone was like all over.
Yeah, so it should have an engine. That'd be good. Good start.
That's a great point.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see a V6 or a single turbo V6. I don't think it needs to be a 4-cylinder. An EV could work in certain markets. I debate whether it could be a hybrid. I don't think so. I think it should be gasoline option,
Yes.
electric option, call it a day. As far as, you know, the EV, you know, it's given like Xterra,
We like
you know, little trail terror.
That's a cute ass name. You better trademark it today.
Yep, Nissan. I'll give you my address to that. Check.
I think the EV option would be good for it, because, as you know, whenever manufacturers are doing EVs, they want to do like the weird EV styling. Like it's always a thing to make it look awkward.
But Nissan doesn't do that. All of Nissan's EVs look like cars.
You're absolutely right.
They do. The Leaf looks like a hatchback. The Aria looks like an SUV. We don't do like the wild spaceship electric car.
That might be a great way for the Xterra to bring in those customers that are already associating a EV with a bit different styling. The Xterra is always going to look a bit different than the other SUVs in their lineup. Why not another happy medium?
Earlier, you had mentioned that the Xterra obviously is pretty analog. It didn't come with any of the safety features. You couldn't count on the automatic braking, ABS, the sensors. A lot of that is standard now by law, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of government mandates that require certain things.
Do you think having to include that now takes away from the Xterra, the rawness of the Xterra?
No, because if you look at like a 2025 Frontier, if you get a Pro 4X model, which is their off-road model, you know, it has all that stuff. If you look at a Frontier compared to other competitors, it's still very much a basic truck. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have a digital dash. It has a 7-inch display. You have a big radio screen. It does have Apple CarPlay. It has like the necessities now that you would assume a car would have, but it's not overdone. You can actually, believe this or not, you can buy a base S Frontier in 2025 and it does not have power mirrors.
So these things are heavy.
No, I mean like from inside the car. You move the glass where you want that glass to be so you can see what's behind you.
So sorry. Guess we need a blazing new Frontier because...
Don't.
So corny. How corny can you be?
That might be your final Frontier joke. Oh.
Boom. What chassis do you see it sitting on?
Frontier. It always has. So when Xterra was introduced, it was on a Frontier platform. In 2005, when this model came out, so this specific Frontier generation was 05 through 15. At that time, the Frontier, the Pathfinder, and the Xterra shared a platform. They shared engines. If you lined them all up and got into every single one of them, they all looked the same. The Pathfinder was a little different because it had a slightly different dash, because that was more of like the family car. But the Xterra and the Frontier are pretty much the same thing. So when you get something that's built on the same platform, shares a ton of parts with each other. It makes it really easy for, people like me to come up with an idea of maybe making a modern Xterra, maybe based on a Frontier, maybe, might come out at the end of this year at a show called SEMA, and so people can see what a modern Xterra can maybe look like in my vision. I don't know.
We'll find out, I guess.
We might find out.
At SEMA.
At SEMA.
Or whatever it's called.
It is SEMA.
I was playing off of what you said.
Oh, I thought you didn't know. I'm like, no, it's really called SEMA. I hate you.
Nissan Xterra, the SUV that skipped leg day, but only because it was too busy climbing mountains.